Alright, welcome to the Road to the Nationals segment 3. Currently we're sitting in 22 weeks out from Nationals in Atlanta, Georgia, and just finished my first training phase. This next week will be a deload, which isn't overly exciting, a little boring, but I am feeling ready for that. Everything was getting by the end of the last 2 weeks was sort of a little demotivated to train, just a little overall achy and beat up feeling throughout the entire body, left shoulder, right knee a little bit. So, and I think that a big part of that is just the large ramp up in training volume that I was trying to push. So this last week I finished out, the total training volume for the week was just over 160,000 pounds of work done throughout the course of the week. And looking at the scale and looking at body composition measurements, was unsuccessful in that 4-week phase of putting in any new lean tissue, which really isn't surprising. I mean, I've been at this for 17 years, so like I said at the beginning, I'll be happy if I can put on a pound or two by October. So we'll see what happens here going forward. I'll take this week, reduce volume by about half, and intensity will stay about where it was, because really the average workout, average intensity was about 60 to 70% on most of my lifts here this last 4 weeks, and that'll be pretty much maintained. Maybe drop it down slightly here during the deload week, and then we'll pick up the intensity and volume going into the next block. The next block will be about 6 weeks long. In that block, I'm going to try to match that training volume and climb up as close to 200,000 pounds of volume in a week as I can get. But also the intensity will be going up slightly too. So while I was averaging, on the high end 75% of my 1 rep max on this last cycle, as low as 60%, this next block, a lot of the lifts will be going up to 90%, but most of them, the average will still be about 70 to 80%, so we'll bump it up about 10% on average for the intensity, while keeping that volume up and even trying to make it climb a little bit higher, see if we can get a little bit of added lean tissue on during this next 6-week block. During this deload week as well, just to sort of keep my weight on track. I'm about 10 pounds over my weight class right now, so I don't want to have a real drastic cut come October, especially since we'll have a new baby in September. So when I compete in nationals, I'll have a 5-week-old, 5 or 6-week-old. So sleep's not going to be great. It's not going to be a great time to have to be dropping a lot of weight. So I want to make sure that doesn't get out of control here as I'm trying to put on some weight or some muscle mass. So during this week, we'll cut the calories back by about 1,000 a day, which will sit around 2,500 calories a day here, and just try to drop a couple pounds here just to keep things reasonable going forward. Other than training-wise, has been feeling good, and the numbers felt good, really sort of going by feel. This next block will be a little more specific as we start going heavier on the main competitive lifts, and continuing to work on technique. So the big things that I've been working on, really on all the lifts, but on the squat, really been working on what we call scooping, or really pushing the hips, driving the hips forward up under the bar so I can use my quads more coming up out of the hole. On the bench press, I've been working on bar path and driving that back up towards the face as quick as possible to make it a little more efficient and stronger lift. And on the deadlift, just working on the setup and trying to create as much tension before I go to break the weight off the floor is sort of been the main focus, technically speaking. So those are sort of the things that will be worked on. The accessory lifts here are going to be start to shift a little bit away from the more bodybuilding isolation exercises to a little bit more variations of the competitive lifts. So we'll get a little more specific, but still have a reasonable amount of variety in the training program, and that'll, as we get closer and closer to October 14th, that'll gradually transition until it's almost entirely mimicking the competitive lifts with very little assistance or variation in those exercise selections, and that's really about it so far. Got the hotel rooms booked, got my plane tickets booked, so the only step now is just to get the registration actually entered and signed up for. So that'll be done as soon as that opens up in June, and we'll keep plugging away and following the plan and let you guys know how everything's going as we go. Thanks for listening.